Before The Rock ruled the WWE, coining catchphrases, raising his eyebrows, and starting an epic rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What was that old lady's name again?
It
doesn't matter what her name was!
Before he would become a staple of pop culture in 2000, making an appearance with Wyclef Jean.
And rings are not.
Man, listen, I just got 2 new Grammys, man.
It doesn't matter about your Grammys!
And even an episode of Star Trek as an alien version of himself. Before he transitioned from one of the most recognized pro wrestlers to a Hollywood A-lister, starring in films like San Andreas, Fast 7, Baywatch Central Intelligence, and oh, let us not forget, The Mummy Returns. Okay, I don't know if CGIing his head onto that of a scorpion should really count as an acting credit. I mean, it doesn't even look like him. They forgot his eyebrows. Anywho, let's move on. Before Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would nab Forbes' top spot as the world's highest paid actor, and what he would do with all that money, well, he would work harder by launching his own YouTube channel. And for about 5 minutes, this channel had more subscribers than him. Well, then his channel exploded. Now, The Rock's family was well known for breeding wrestlers, but Dwayne had little interest in taking on the family legacy and had his sights set on becoming a professional football player. Due to his massive size, standing at 6'4" and weighing 225 pounds in his teens, Dwayne had a hard time fitting in at school and everyone suspected him to be an undercover cop. I mean, I would too, personally. Due to his family's constant moving, his isolation from peers, and multiple expulsions, Dwayne would attend 4 different high schools. The silver lining for him was his love of athletics, and he quickly became a pretty talented defense tackle who got a full ride to Miami U.
Number 94, Dwayne Johnson, finally gets a piece.
Sadly, an injury in university cut his NFL dream short, and Dwayne, like his father, grandpa, uncle, and cousins, became a pro wrestler. Even though his first couple of matches actually went pretty well for him, the audience hated him, and this Gembroni had to figure out how to make his brand work so he could become the people's champ. What's up, guys? My name is Holly Will, filling in for Michael McCrudden, looking at the life of the people's champion, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, here for you on Before They Were Famous. This is an updated version because, well, he's become one of the hottest tickets in Hollywood since we last talked about him. Is there anyone else that you think deserves an update? Let us know in the comments below. Dwayne Douglas Johnson was born in Hayward, California on May 2nd, 1972 into a family of great wrestlers. His Samoan granddad, known as High Chief, was a wrestler along with 2 of Dwayne's uncles and 4 of his cousins. His father, Rocky, who is of African American descent, grew up in Nova Scotia, Canada and trained as a boxer before becoming his pro wrestler known as Rocky Solomon Johnson. Due to this career, he and his young family would travel the world following his career. Dwayne recalls that his first trip to the movies happened way back when he was 8 years old, where he saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I see as pretty symbolic because, you know, there was ironic rock scenes or whatever. You know what I mean. Dwayne lived in New Zealand for a bit and went to Richmond Road Primary School before moving to Hawaii. He stayed there for a year before relocating again, this time to Nashville and later Pennsylvania. Due to the constant relocating and Dwayne being a bit of a troublesome youth, he had been enrolled in 4 high schools by the time he was 16 and had been expelled by more than 1. He found it very difficult to make friends due to his massive size, and his fellow students often suspected him to be an undercover cop. It was at Freedom High School in Pennsylvania that Dwayne's isolation from his peers led him into athletics, where he got involved in running track. He did some amateur wrestling but concluded that it wasn't for him and discovered his love for playing football. All of a sudden, his massive size became his greatest asset, and he picked up a full scholarship to study criminology at Miami U.
Number 94, Dwayne Johnson.
Yep, it looks like Dwayne had always been a showman. University was going well for Dwayne. He had a promising career on the horizon as a pro footballer, and he met a lovely lady named Dani who would later become his wife. But a sudden back injury left the big guy benched the next season, and he was soon replaced by the future NFL star Warren Sapp. From there, he had a 2-month spell on the Calgary Stampeders in the CFL. So that's the Canadian version of football where NFL dreams come to die and we apologize about it by drinking Tim Hortons. Yeah.
You spill coffee on me, but I say sorry.
When his football career came to a screeching halt, he decided to follow the family legacy and try his hand at wrestling. He turned to his dad for guidance and training, but Big Rocky warned him that if he were to coach him, he wouldn't go easy on his boy. Within a year, his dad's connections had arranged a few tryout matches, and Dwayne did his dad proud. He won his first match, then went on to take the USWA World Tag Team Championship twice. That summer, he signed a contract with the WWE and continued his training. But it would take a few different names before he picked The Rock. First fighting as Flex Kavana, then Rocky Maivia, then getting the nickname Blue Chipper. Promoters pushed his third-generation lineage, and despite his success in elimination tag matches, the audience didn't like what they saw. They thought his character was a little too tacky, which, for the WWE, isn't an easy feat.
I cared about you! You were everything to me! Everything!
And at one point in the early days of Rocky Maivia's career, the audience even shouted, "Die, Rocky, die." Yep, tough crowd. At least they weren't calling him a narc like they did in high school. Regardless of the taunting, The Rock could smell that something good was cooking, and he set out to change his image. He started calling himself The Rock and the People's Champion, then decided to kick a long-standing rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin. As time went on, he was able to win the crowd with smack talk, pizzazz, and catchphrases. Oh, and you know, he could do that eyebrow thing really well.
You smell what The Rock is cooking?
The Rock took home the wrestling title in 2000, and soon after he was invited onto SNL to host an episode. Hollywood saw potential in the charismatic leading man, and he soon found work on That 70s Show and Star Trek Voyager. And it was his work in The Mummy Returns and his later $5.5 million payment in the standalone The Scorpion King that solidified him as a Hollywood heavyweight.
You think this is funny?
It's a little bit funny.
Although it was good to see his actual face and not some CGI mess up. As for the rest of the story, you know the story because this is before they were famous. We do all sorts of bios here on this channel. We have done actors, wrestlers, models, YouTubers, anybody who's anybody. Be sure to browse around, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video.
Yeah, it's more important to be nice unless you're talking to Kevin Hart, in which you say go fuck yourself.